Why can't humans travel further than the moon? Space, the final frontier? Question mark? Hi, I'm Mr. M, and I am a math and science explorer. For as long as I can remember, NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, and space geeks around the world have been obsessed with venturing into outer space. Probably the most iconic moment in space exploration history took place in 1969 when humans first stepped foot on the moon. But that was over 55 years ago. With all our advances in technology, like the ability to play chess on our smartphones, you would think we would have traveled further than the moon by now. So why haven't we? And why does NASA insist that the current Artemis missions are a pathway to reaching further? Today, I'm diving into the NASA archives to understand why haven't we gone further than the moon? Before we look towards the future, let's revisit our lunar past. Chapter 1, Apollo. It was the summer of 1969, and astronauts Neil Armstrong, Michael Collins, and Buzz Aldrin became the first humans to ever walk on the moon. This was the Apollo 11 mission, and it was only the beginning. In a span of roughly 3 years, NASA sent six crews of astronauts on manned missions to the moon. The Apollo 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, and 17 all set foot on the moon. But shockingly, they're the only times humans have ever visited the moon. And if you're wondering what happened to Apollo 13, check out the awesome movie with Tom Hanks. The Apollo missions were, and still are, incredible achievements, especially when you consider that only 10,000 years ago, humans were a bunch of cave people throwing sharp rocks at one another. Now, we're on the moon. However, the last Apollo mission was more than 50 years ago, and we still haven't returned. So what's the deal? Chapter 2, Beyond the Moon. Even though humans hit a long pause on the moon visits, we've simply been doing a lot of other things at all different distances from planet Earth. The International Space Station, or ISS, became operational in 1995 and is currently orbiting Earth just 264 miles above our planet. It's been home to astronauts from all over the world doing amazing research. Then, there's the Artemis II mission, which sent astronauts in orbit around the moon, making them the furthest people from Earth in history. They reached a distance of 248,655 miles from planet Earth. In 1997, the first unmanned rover to explore Mars, named Sojourner, touched down on the red planet. Mars is about 50 million miles from Earth. But if you really want to talk about distance, and clearly you do because you're still watching, in the year 1977, the Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 unmanned spacecrafts launched, and they have flown past planets like Jupiter and Saturn and are still in space to this day, exploring outside our solar system and sharing data with us back on Earth. Voyager 1 is the furthest man-made object from Earth and is currently 15.78 billion miles from Earth. Wow. So, if we can send these incredible spacecrafts into deep space, why can't we just send ourselves? Chapter 3, Mars. Well, the answer is simple. Distance, time, and tech. The closest planet to Earth is Mars. Wait, no it's not. Venus is closer, except on rare orbital occasions, so why don't we just go visit Venus? Well, Venus is way too hot and way too toxic for us, so we need to go to Mars. But Mars is far, a lot further than the moon. The Artemis II moon mission lasted about 10 days. A trip to Mars one way could take 7 to 10 months, one way. So we're thinking a round trip would be at least 2 years. Because of the tremendous time, we would need tremendous leaps in technology and innovation to help make the mission a success. The Mars crew would need a food supply, they need clean water, and they need power. On top of this, communication between Mars and Earth would be heavily delayed. When we communicate with astronauts on the moon, there's only a few seconds of delay between us. However, there would be a delay of approximately 22 minutes with Mars. That's more of a polite email than an emergency phone call. When you're an astronaut on Mars, you and your crew are literally alone in the universe. While food, water, power, and communications are huge challenges, NASA and private companies are working towards solutions. And it all begins with an upcoming manned mission back to the moon. In April of 2026, NASA successfully completed the Artemis II mission, sending 4 astronauts in lunar orbit. Very cool. But what's even cooler is the Artemis 4 mission planned for 2028, when astronauts will step foot once again on the moon's surface to spend 1 week studying the south pole of the moon before returning home. And that's not the end of it. Future Artemis missions will continue to collect data and test out new tech which can be applied to a future mission to Mars. Technologies like a nuclear fission system, which could provide power even during dust storms and darkness on the red planet. These moon missions are designed to help fill gaps in technology and data so that humankind can visit Mars sometime in the 2030s. Yes, you heard that correctly, the 2030s. Conclusion, the 2030s? Question mark? The 2030s? Seriously? Isn't that like right around the corner? Are we really ready to visit Mars in the next 10 to 15 years? We haven't even touched the moon's surface since the 70s. Seems like a big jump to me, or maybe it's just one giant leap. What do you think about all this? Can we realistically reach Mars in the 2030s? How about the 2040s even? Or ever? Why or why not? Let me know in the comments down below, and your comment could be featured in a follow-up discussion. Thank you for watching today. Don't forget to keep exploring and subscribe for more math and science explorations. Have a great day.